So you can hear me now. How's that go? Can you see me now? You can hear me now. It is very comfortable being up in the choir with 25 or 30 other people. And we find ourselves in places of comfort. And God wants us to move from that place to somewhere else in our life. And that's what we're going to talk about today. God moving us from where we are to someplace else, out of our comfort zone. But before we get right into the meat, we're going to have a little refresher course. Some of you need a refresher course in God, as I do. So let's start in the beginning. There is a God. And this God created everything, the heavens and the earth, everything in it. He created you, and He created me. And none of it was an accident. And He did it without any help from us. This God is a mighty and powerful God. He has moved mountains. He has parted seas. He has brought nations to their knees, freed His people from slavery by simply speaking a simple word. Our God is also a God of great compassion. He is a God of forgiveness and of amazing grace. I like to call Him a God of second chances. He's a God that restores broken lives, that mends broken hearts. He heals the sick and the dying. He is a God of hope. And He is a God whose love is so great that He sent a perfect, sinless, unblemished lamb to die for us in Jesus, for you and me. This great and mighty and powerful God is the same God that desires to have a close, loving, and personal relationship with you and me. And our God has a purpose for your life and for mine. Colossians 1:16 says that everything got started in Him and finds its purpose in Him. And the scriptures go on to say that God's purpose for our life predates conception. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that this God that created the heavens and the earth and that created us, that He knew you before you were ever conceived? And not only did He know you, that He planned you, but He planned a specific purpose just for you. No one was excluded. Well, my question is, do you know what God's purpose is for your life? Maybe you're a little unsure about His purpose. Maybe you find yourself at a time and a place in your life that you're a little unsure about everything. Do you know God's purpose for your life? There is an incredible story. It's a true story, and there were eyewitnesses about a man who was 75 years old. And at this time and this place in his life, God approached him and began to have a conversation with him. And during this conversation, he said to this man, he said, I have a purpose for your life. You're going to be the father of many nations. And he said, look up into the sky and see all the stars in the sky. They're too many to be counted. So shall it be with your descendants. They will be too many to be counted. And this man was humbled, and he was amazed, and he was grateful because he loved his God and he understood a purpose for his life. Did God choose this man because of his goodness? Was he perfect? We know that is not the case. But he chose to disclose his purpose for this man's life because he knew that he could count on him. He knew that this man, with all of his faults, loved his Lord. And God knew that when he spoke to him, that he would believe and he would obey. Well, now 25 years passed, and God was speaking to this man again. And during this conversation, the man could stand it no longer. And he said, but Lord, he said, 25 years have passed, and we still don't have any descendants. He said, but Lord, how could this be? I'm 99 years old now, and my wife is far beyond childbearing years. She's 90 years old. How could this be? And God spoke to this man, and he said, because I am God, and you are not. He said, if I speak it, and you believe it, and you obey, so shall it be. And in a short time, it was to be. And God had given Abraham and Sarah a new song for their life. And his name was Isaac. And a new nation was born, whose descendants would be more than the stars in the sky. Because as God drew close to Abraham, Abraham drew close to his Lord.